Even while the American Revolution was still raging, the groundwork was being laid for the next revolutions that would shape our country. Revolutions about equality and inclusion and creating a society for all. In 1780, Massachusetts adopted a new state constitution, written largely by attorney and future President John Adams. It declared that all men are born free and equal and have certain natural, essential, and unalienable rights. Words that would later be echoed in the U.S. Constitution. Just 1 year later, Elizabeth Freeman, an enslaved woman in Western Massachusetts, sued for her freedom and won, using that very language from the Constitution. Her victory helped to end slavery in Massachusetts. Around the same time, Quock Walker, a young man enslaved in Worcester County, brought his own case to court, arguing that slavery violated Massachusetts' new constitution. The state's highest courts agreed with him, and by 1790, the federal census recorded no enslaved people in the state, which is not something that the rest of the country could say at the time. In 1838, Frederick Douglass escaped from slavery in Maryland to New Bedford, Massachusetts. He wrote that for the first time, he felt like he'd escaped a den of hungry lions. Here, he found work and the freedom to raise his voice against the institution of slavery. In Boston, William Lloyd Garrison and Isaac Knapp published The Liberator, which demanded immediate emancipation in a city that was deeply divided over the issue at the time. Massachusetts became a center for the fight for women's rights, too. Lucy Stone refused to take her husband's name, even when it meant paying extra taxes and losing her right to vote. In Boston, activists founded the American Women's Suffrage Association and began publishing the Woman's Journal, which became one of the most influential suffrage newspapers in the country. In 1919, suffragists protested right here outside the Massachusetts State House. They were demanding that Governor Coolidge back the 19th Amendment. And a lot of them got arrested, but they kept coming back with banners that read, "How long must women wait for liberty?" Meanwhile, another movement was reshaping ideas of equality, transcendentalism. Writers like Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry David Thoreau, and Margaret Fuller championed individual conscience and civil disobedience, ideas that energized abolitionists and suffragists and future activists. Institutions were changing as well. In 1881, Ellen Swallow Richards became MIT's first female faculty member, pioneering environmental science and public health. In 1879, Richard Theodore Greener became Harvard's first Black faculty member. As Massachusetts grew, immigrant communities transformed its cities. Irish immigrants built subways, Italian stonemasons raised churches, and Jewish families opened shops and factories. Some rose to leadership as well. John F. Honeyfitz Fitzgerald, the son of Irish immigrants, became Boston's mayor in 1905. Michelle Wu, daughter of Taiwanese immigrants, occupies that office today, the city's first woman and first person of color elected mayor. Massachusetts was a leader in public education too, as it created the first free public school in 1635, called Boston Latin. Horace Mann's reforms created the first system of free, universal public schooling, a revolutionary idea at the time. Mann was a native of Franklin, Massachusetts, who became president of the state senate and a U.S. congressman. Labor activists from Massachusetts, including Sarah Bagley, helped win the nation's first child labor laws, protecting young workers and opening doors to education and opportunity. Martin Luther King Jr. moved to Boston in 1951 to pursue graduate studies at Boston University, where he earned his PhD in theology. His time in Boston deepened his commitment to social justice and nonviolent activism. Malcolm X spent his teenage years in Boston's Roxbury neighborhood after a turbulent childhood. Working odd jobs and experiencing firsthand the realities of racial discrimination in the North, Malcolm later wrote that his time in Boston exposed him to both the harshness of urban racism and the possibilities of Black self-reliance. In his autobiography, Malcolm described his time working as a busboy at the Parker House Hotel while observing the wealthy and powerful guests as one of his early glimpses into the inequalities of American society. Though their approaches to civil rights would later differ, Boston played a crucial role in shaping both men's worldviews and preparing them for national leadership. And in 2008, E. Denise Simmons gained a ton of national attention when she became the nation's very first Black openly lesbian mayor in the city of Cambridge. In 2004, Massachusetts became the first state to legalize same-sex marriage, and couples lined up right here at Cambridge City Hall and waited all night in the pouring rain just to finally get the chance to say I do. That morning, Tanya McCloskey and Marcia Kaddish were the first same-sex couple to get legally married in the United States after being together for 20 years. And it was all made official right here at Cambridge City Hall. That decision didn't stay here. It inspired marriage equality rulings across the country, culminating in the nationwide Supreme Court decision in 2015. Massachusetts has not always had a perfect track record when it comes to things like income equality, or integrating neighborhoods, or welcoming immigrants. But this has always been a place where visionaries could dream of a different society, share those ideas, and sometimes maybe get the support that they needed to make those dreams a reality. Next time, we'll talk about food innovation and show you all the delicious creations that Massachusetts had its hand in. Subscribe to the Innovation Trails YouTube channel to catch the other videos in this series.